Now, let us start programming this electric circuit. In order to do so, you click on Code and you choose Text. If there is anything here, you have to remove it in order to start fresh. Now, let us start with the first part of our program. We have to first include the functions of the IR remote, because otherwise we will not be able to use it. And we have to make sure that the computer understands that the IR sensor is connected to pin number 9. So receive pin number 9, and once you receive it, you can decode the results, okay? So you decode whatever results you get from 9. So that's my input. Now, I also need to define the I1, I2, I3, and I4. These are the variables I decided to name for whatever I connected here. My pins 2, 3, 4, and 5, which are connected to the bridge. Of course, we also have to mention that we have 10 and 11 that are connected to the enablers of the bridge, enable 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, and are also connected to the Arduino using the orange wires. So this is things that I need to basically mention to the computer so it understands. Now let's set up the system. How to do so? It is very easy. All you need to do is type in void setup, and you establish the connection by the serial begin 9600, and then you receive from the IR, you enable it, and you define that I1, I2, I3, I4, which are the variables you decided over here, are outputs in addition to 7 and 8. Now this is a comment, but for you to understand that also these are outputs, okay? You don't have to write it, but if you want, go ahead. And don't forget the parentheses. Now, moving on, let us do the loop. And I think the loop for me is my favorite part in programming, because loops makes me understand how do things work. So the loop, I will just put some space here. So you make the loop, void loop, and now you start with your if conditions. So if whatever you get from the results that you decoded from the IR receiver, you assign it to a certain value, and then you print it in the serial monitor, and you have this value. If that is case 29885, now you tell me what are these cases. These cases are things that are already predefined in the remote control. So you just need to figure out, in this case means we're clicking on button 2 and I'm moving forward. This case, which is 18145, that means I'm clicking on 8, and we said this is reverse. This case means I'm clicking on 1 and I'm moving left. This case is 45861 and I'm moving right. Here, you have this case 9473, which is reset. That means I'm clicking on or pressing on the remote control the button 5. Okay, other than that we can break and reset in general for the other buttons. If not, we can then just resume or continue. Now, is this enough? No, it's not, because even though I put my conditions that if I click on this button or I press on this button, and then you should reverse, you should move forward, you should do this, the computer does not understand what moving forward, what's reverse, what's left, what's right. You have to make it understand using the pins. So we will have to familiarize the computer with each and every function. Let us start with the forward. I'm gonna put here, I'm gonna make the computer understand what forward is. Forward is that we're gonna make I1 low. We're not gonna make it work I2 high, I3 high, I4 low. So I have I2 and 3, which are pin 2 and 4. They will be on, and we will make the two motors move forward. We will also have to write this using the enable 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 on 150, 255 and 150, 255 with a small delay. Okay, so this is something that you need in order to make things smoother and to make this work. So now we defined how to move forward. That means I want 2 pins to work for me. What about reverse? Let us see. Exactly the same thing. You can even copy and paste. You don't need to write from the beginning. Just copy and paste. But here, instead of low, it's high. And now these two are low, so they're not working. And this is high. And you add also 12 and 13 for that to be high. And then this will stay the same. So now I'm going reverse. How about when I'm turning around? So I'm moving left or right. That means only one motor should be working. Let us see how that works. Left works this way. Low, low, high, low. So that means that only one motor is working, and that motor is connected to 4. So now I think you should guess it right. If I want to do the right function or the right turn, how do I do it? You copy and paste, but you switch. There you go. I copy it and pasted the exact code, but I just switched between high and low. And exactly the same. Now, the final one is how to reset. I think reset is quite easy. You don't want any motors working. So what do? You make them all low. Now you made the computer understand what do you mean by forward, reverse, right, left, and so on and so forth. That would be our code. It might be a bit long, however, it's very repetitive and easy. So I honestly expect that you will do really well in this code. Let us start the simulation and start trying to move forward. Let us go. So I have my remote. I switched it on, and then I'm going to click on forward. And I want you to focus on the motors. See, they're both moving. Now, I want you to make sure that you clicked correctly on 2, that's 1. Second of all, it might take some time, so don't worry if it's a bit stuck, okay? So it's establishing a connection, this is why. Let us see, I will stop it. What about if I go left? I will click on 1. Switch it on. As you can see, when I clicked on 1, only one only one motor is working. So that means I'm turning. I stop, and you can try all the other commands, and they should give you all the same thing. And that would be the way you code the first mission.